Good morning. Hello, everybody. My name is Chrissy and I live down here in Australia. And today I'm going to be giving you a prediction reading for the 8th of May. Now, it's Sunday. It's actually Mother's Day today. So shout out to all the mothers, and some of you dads are like mothers out there. I know nowadays we have all sorts of families, don't we? So for anyone who does the mothering role, happy Mother's Day. And for anyone new to my channel, I just let my guides channel through to you. So stay watching in case there's a message for you today. And I'm going to close my eyes and we'll just get started and see what comes up for the 8th of May. Now, I'm getting that things are starting to capture people's attention. Now, it's almost like they're showing me like a catcher's mitt. And I know in America you play a lot of baseball, so you can probably relate to this. Probably Canada too. They're showing me a catcher's mitt. So it's showing me like that leather catcher's mitt and the ball going into it and being caught. So it's like what they're saying to me is that information is spraying out. But it's being caught. So once, and this I talked about the other day, once the information is out, I think I talked about the butter in the sandwich. It sticks. It gets trapped between the two pieces of bread. Well, this is what they're saying. People are capturing that information now, and they're looking into it. So this is what I'm definitely getting, is that information is being caught. And if you think about it, the significance of like the baseball game, I mean, you could relate it to anything like softball, cricket. It doesn't matter what you relate it to. They're just showing me particularly the catcher's mitt, that usually when someone catches that ball, that means that you're out. And I think we could take that as a positive message, like from the guides today, that people are being caught out. And that's definitely the strong message today. And let's hope this is around parliamentary leaders and government. It feels like this is globally, that people are being caught out. It's almost, they're showing me that like a string of yarn or like a ball of wool. When you pull that, like say if a cat's playing with a ball of wool, they pull the wool and it just all unravels and goes, and they'll end up with just this big string. Well, that's kind of what they're showing me now, is that they're being caught out and things are unraveling. And they're unraveling really quickly. So that's what I'm definitely getting. This is around global leaders, parliament, government. This is definitely happening. I'm getting that being caught out and things unraveling. I'll see what else we get today, if we can get anything more on this. Ooh, they're saying there's things they've suppressed that they can't hide. There's things they're going to have to answer for now. And it's saying to me that a lot of them have contemplated how they're going to get around these lies. Oh, God, they're the masters of it. I don't think they're going to have any trouble getting around the lies, because they're going to have to prove like their innocence. So it's almost like they're trying to create ways to prove that they're innocent to all of this. You know, it's like, oh, hands in the air. We haven't done anything. That's what I'm definitely getting, is that there's this like innocence. I mean, we know they're still pushing their narrative, but then when these things come out and can become concrete and they unravel, they have to kind of, it's almost like a backpedaling, but they're also showing me that they're having to, it's not even that they're hiding. That's not really the word that they're wanting to give me. Hang on, just give me a sec. Okay. They're wanting to be forgiven. So it's almost like, if you think about it, the classic example to me would be Boris Johnson there in the UK, in England there. He came clean about the parties and having group gatherings and all these meetings while everybody was forced to lock down, not even see their families. And he came clean because he wanted that sort of forgiveness. He wanted to be seen as a real person. And funny enough, that does work on people's minds. As much as they're probably a bit pissed off about it, they're also thinking, well, you know, at least he was honest. You know, he came clean. He realised he effed up. So it's funny how people look at things, isn't it? One minute they can see things so badly, but if you tell the truth, it's like anything in life. If you be honest and truthful, it always makes you look better. It makes you look like a more genuine person that sort of people can kind of trust. It's very weird, isn't it? Because there you are lying and everything, but then if you come clean and be honest, people will trust you. That's a very strange thing, isn't it? It kind of doesn't even make sense, does it, when you actually say it out loud? But this is kind of what I'm getting. Some of them feel like if they came clean, maybe people would trust them more going forward. So this is kind of this unraveling of the wool. It's that unraveling of the stories that have always been beneath the surface, because people are catching them out. I'll just see what, and then, look, this is around government, this is around politicians, this is around global leaders. We'll see what else we get today. Yeah, I'm getting that. Look, we're going through an enormous amount of strikes here in Australia. Let me know down below if you guys are suffering these things. We've had strikes on everything. Nurses, doctors, teachers, firefighters, police. We've had everybody striking. Bus drivers, you name it. It's all happening here in Australia. Now, what's happening is government's trying to play these down. So government, obviously, on the media, is going to feed you that narrative that this is all about monetary aspects. And we know part of it is because I always talk about the rich are getting richer and the elites are getting more powerful and the little people are being squashed. Now, obviously, all this is globally, inflation's rising and no wages are going up. So government's kind of putting that out in the narrative. And I think you can pretty much see that everybody's been silenced in a lot of avenues, particularly doctors, nurses, any of these medical sort of people have been silenced. Now we know that's coming out. We know that's the truth. So they're still in Australia here not allowed to write anything about sort of mandates, the jab on any of their placards, and we know that's why they lost staff. We know that's why they're short-staffed. We know it's put pressure on the hospitals, blah, blah, blah. It's not the unjab putting pressure on the hospitals. It's the mandates that have got rid of all the staff and the teachers and blah, blah, blah. I mean, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to do the maths on that. I'm sure this is happening where you're living as well. But that's what I'm getting. The governments are trying to play these strikes down and sort of pretend it's all about just wages and, they're overworked and underpaid. And this is the narrative they're still kind of feeding everybody because they still don't want people's focus to highlight their agenda. So this is something people have fought for, forever, is about wage rises and pay increases and overworked and too much workload, and that's a common thing. So they know if they can just keep feeding the people that it doesn't all seem so scary and overwhelming to people. So I'm definitely getting that at the moment, that the strikes are being played right down, and they're still controlling these kind of strikes, because you have to admit it's kind of funny here, and I found it strange. I know you would in Canada and some of these countries where probably New Zealand, where we've had battles with not being able to protest and things, but they will allow people to protest and have these strikes for the day and walk up the streets and protest without, I'm sure there's no sonic devices in these ones. So it's like they'll only allow protests for certain things, and we know that's becoming very obvious to anyone who's a freedom fighter or standing up against tyranny or has injuries or just frustrated by mandates who wants to stand up. We've kind of lost our voices with that. But if you want to strike against monetary issues and wages, that's perfectly okay. So this is where that double standard is causing more frustration out there for people. I'm definitely getting that, and that's that playing down because they don't want to draw attention to any other issues. If they focus on the money, that makes sense because what cost of living's going up. So there's a lot of logic in that. People would see that as, that's fair enough to stand up against that. So again, they're controlling all these strikes and things as well. So I'm definitely getting that today, that they're still controlling, who can protest, who can march, who can strike. They know they can't kind of stop that at a time when finances are becoming really crazy and out of control. So, but it's not going to harm their agenda if people do that. They might have to give them a pay rise or something, but they just kind of go, yeah, big deal. People have always protested about that. As long as they're not protesting about the things that we don't want highlighted to give away our agenda, we'll be happy. So this is, sounds like you will be happy. You'll own nothing, but you will be happy. So that's what I'm getting today, is that they're allowing kind of these things to unfold, and it's almost like, we're allowing free speech. We're allowing democracy. What are you talking about? So again, we've got question marks around a lot of things that they're still controlling. I'll see what else we get today. I'm getting these visions of us hiding and kind of peeking over the fence like this. I think there was a guy, I'm pretty sure it was on Tool Time, the show. Was it Tool Time? There was a show where this guy used to peek over the fence and just talk to his neighbour. I can't remember what it was. Oh, it's gone now. But it was very funny, and he never ever sort of showed his face. You only ever saw like his fishing hat or his eyes. And that's what they're kind of showing to me. And this is the image that I'm getting of you guys out there. It feels like we're like that neighbour that's kind of peeking over the fence, and it's like we're looking to see what's happening. And look, it's not a bad thing, because when you think about you're looking over the fence from your yard, it's a safe place. And this is just an image. This isn't literally you just beaking into your neighbour's yard. This is about you looking out now and seeing what's going on out there. We know we can see what's going on out there, but we're kind of curious now. I feel like we've got this curiosity in us to find out what's really going on out there. Like, where are we up to? What are people really hiding? In government and parliament, we've got, are people waking up? We're looking to see if anybody's kind of waking up. It's almost like they said you could kind of get your binoculars now and like look into the distance, And the thing is, when they're showing me like binoculars, it's almost too like you're hiding in a bush and you're looking out and no one can actually see you, but you can see them and you can see what's playing out and you can see what's going on. And that's what I'm getting today. You're still protected kind of by your fence and your and I would say this to me represents your boundaries. So it's the boundaries that you've set up that are protecting you now, but you can still see. So that's the image that I'm getting today. You're still seeing, you're still looking out, you're still aware of your surrounds and your society and what's going on around you, but you're being very wise, because you're looking from a very safe perspective and a very safe distance. So again, it's the binoculars. You're far enough back and far enough removed that things aren't going to affect you anymore, but you can still see with your binoculars what's going on, because you can see things from far away. It's like I always talk about being on that mountaintop, that you can see things in the distance. You can see things that are coming towards you. You have that 360-degree view. But a lot of people now, and the visual that they're giving me, are climbing up that mountain. Yes, they might be climbing up some rocks and slipping and losing their footage a bit, some people, and sliding back down. And these are the people waking up. They're sort of going that 2 steps up and then they might slide back a bit, and then 2 steps up and then they might slide back a bit. So this is where they're sort of teetering on the edge. Not you guys watching this. This is for the people still in that middle bracket that are waking up. They keep getting torn. So their gut feeling and all their senses are waking up, and they're kind of sensing, oh, something isn't right here. This doesn't feel right. Should I get that 4th booster? I'm not sure. But then they'll watch TV, and then that narrative goes, this flu season is going to be the worst season you've ever had. You've got to go and get your double jabs and your this and your that and your this. And this is where they're at. Their scales, these are the people still waking up, not you watching my channel. Their scales are teetering. So they can't find that middle ground. They go from this and then they kind of go to that. And this is why they're scrambling to climb that mountain now. It's almost like we're going to have to like throw them some ropes down and kind of pull them up. It's getting to that kind of point now where people are really grasping and they're trying to get to that top of the hill. It's almost to me like it's like they're thinking if they get to the top, they're going to get their old life back. But we know that's not what's going to happen, because we know our old lives are gone. And that's something that they will come to that realization of as well, because that's an illusion. They feel like if they can start to feel better too, that their life's going to feel like it used to. But we know it's not going to feel like it used to, because life becomes very different when your soul breaks down and you wake up. And this is what we talk about a lot, that caterpillar into the butterfly. I'm always talking about it, but it's just a great simple analogy. Or it could be that phoenix rising from the ashes. It's that soul breakdown that causes you to sort of fly again. And that's what these people are going through. They're definitely going through it, but they're teetering. They can't get the balance right in their life. it's like they start to become aware and stronger, but then they get hit with something else. And this is why I always say it, we're very removed from that. We're behind the fence looking out now with our binoculars at what's going on, because we have learned where to stay put and where to protect ourselves. We're not in that narrative anymore. That's not our story. Our story is way over here, getting on with life, living, things are unfolding, we're allowing flow, we're getting things coming to us now, we're creating the things that we want. That's where we're at. But we are still curious and peering out at what's going on out there, because we know that there's a lot of things changing and shifting. I'll see what else we get today, but I'm definitely getting that we might have to throw a few ropes down the side of the mountain for these people to just climb up that final leg to get to that top, maybe put their flags on top as well. But they're sort of slipping and sliding and imbalanced, and and that's, again, it's because their logical mind's telling them that and they're getting fed that narrative, but their physical body is changing and it's telling them something else. Their gut, their feelings, the messages they're receiving, things are coming in now, and this is what's causing them to be off balance. So that's what's happening with that middle bracket of people that are awakening. I'll just see what else we get today. This is a kind of weird one. They're showing me a little VW car. So I'm getting this little, it's like a, they firstly showed me a yellow, but now they've gone to an aquamarine blue VW. You know those little VWs? They actually make modern ones now, and they come with a little flower, I think, in the console. And they're little, they're just called V-dubs, basically. They're like a little round car. They're showing me these, and it's almost like that step back in time. I'll just see where they're going with this. Oh, okay. I should have known. We're getting back to the car industry here. People want the simple things. So a lot of people don't want for a fancy schmancy car. They want a very simple, easy to park, easily accessible, and that's why they're showing me a V-dub, because it's got, if you think of like a V-dub, I know a lot of you think of compy vans and things like that, but those little rounded V-dubs with the, I think it was 2 doors, I don't even know, it was a cute little vehicle that everyone sort of has in their memory as like a cute little vehicle. It wasn't a hotted up car, and it wasn't a sedan like a family car. It was just this little cute car that people would run around in, and they were always, they always sort of had that image, if you think of that V-dub as a cute small car. Well, people kind of, what they're saying is people want to get back to that again. They're sort of showing that the car industry just like exploded to the point that everything's got so complicated now. I mean, we own, like, for example, this is an example, we own a battery business, and my husband always has to put the radio connector thing in before he changes the battery, or you lose all your channels and it can affect the computer like, that's such a simple thing, changing a battery, but it can end up quite complicated with a lot of these new cars. So I'm definitely getting that people want things very simplified when it comes to moving forward, and that's why they're showing me the V-dub. It's just an image, and it's like an aquamarine. So you think of, like, aqua is like that blue color, which is very calming. They want that car, I guess you could say the car changes moving forward to be simplified. They don't want all drama around cars. You know, they just want a simple car that they can get in and run around with. That's majority of people. Some want the fancy stuff. We know that. There's always people like that because that's their passion. But this is why they're giving me that cute little V-dub energy. As long as you've got something that you can get from like A to B, that's what people want. So this is kind of, I guess, around the electrics and the hybrids, and that people are looking for that sort of smaller version now, unless you've got a very big family and you need bigger cars. But a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people are going to downsize, and that's probably the image that I'm getting with the V-dub. A lot of people are going to look at those smaller vehicles now because they're the ones that are going to be kind of more economical to run, easier to park, especially if you're living in the city or something. They're easier to park, and more economical, and hopefully they'll be, you know, a lot more hybrids and electrics coming in, and obviously the prices will come down around electrics over time. I'm not saying that'll happen straight away, but these are the reasons people are giving me that sort of cute image. And they, like, if you think of a VW too, and this is why they're using it, it really holds its kind of value, as in they're a bit of a treasure that people love. Like, you see a VW like compy van, God, they're like a real treasure, aren't they? People love them. People collect them. Like, this is the kind of thing they're showing me, that these cars will become quite valuable, and not so much, I guess, in monetary ways, but as in not an antique, but like as in it's like a memory. It's like that's what I'm getting. You know, cars can be like a memory for us, and I feel like that's what it'll become. It'll become more of a personal attachment to people. Like, years ago, I remember my dad, and you guys probably do as well, he had Holdens. He was a real car person. He was a diff mechanic, and he had Chevys, and he had all these really flash cars, and GTS Monaro, and he just loved his cars. And I know a lot of you guys out there probably love yours. Even women love cars, and that's what I'm getting to. People will have more of a connection to their cars again. It feels like cars have just been something we've been driving around in for a long time, whereas now people are going to put more thought into it. They're going to be more connected to their vehicles in a more personal way, and that's why I'm getting that sort of VW image, like the modern ones with the little flower in the console. Like, it's only a little thing. It's just an artificial daisy or something. I'm not even sure what it is, but that comes when you buy the car, and it's just this little finishing touch. It personalizes the car. Well, that's what I'm kind of getting. People are going to feel like they can sort of personalize their cars and vehicles a lot more. It's not just going to be something that we just drive around in anymore. It's going to be something that's sort of it becomes more important to us, because I guess if you think about it, your car's going to be an investment if it's going to help with emissions. You know, that's what they're pushing anyway, but you're going to actually be able to kind of, it's sort of like saying you can kind of pre-design things a little bit more in sort of little fancy ways, that with those finishing touches, which is interesting, isn't it? But I'm definitely getting that. I'm getting that we're going to have a more personal connection to our vehicles, which sounds very strange. I hope they're not going to be like those Google Home things where you just tell them where you want to go and they drive for you. Maybe that's what they're saying. They'll have voice recognition, and yeah, that could be what I'm getting. They'll have, you know, you just touch the door handle and it'll open because it recognises your fingerprints. I mean, this is just very far-fetched into the future, but look how much stuff has been happening. This could be what they're saying about that personalised connection to your car. You recognise your voice and all these kind of things. That's already kind of starting to happen anyway. Oh gosh, where's this all headed? It's just too high-tech for me. Anyway, I'll see if there's any last messages today. Oh, we haven't had this for a while. Now I'm getting the blob energy has come back. So a while ago, you can go and check out my video called The Blob. Now, I related our movement of standing up against tyranny, fighting back, people who are injured, people who have been silenced during a lot of these last few years, about relating them to the blob movement, meaning we all come together and we stick together like this sticky mass, but in a positive way. And we're kind of moving to all the countries. Like when Canada stood up, they started the blob movement, and then Australia stood up, New Zealand stood up, Sweden, Switzerland, Netherlands, everywhere. Iceland, you probably did too. Everyone's been standing up. UK, England, America, you stood up. So much has been happening. You've had the bikers in Canada recently. So this blob movement, you have to remember, has still been growing. And it might be that the parts in the blob are separated, but it is still coming together. If you put all those blobs and those movements together, they stick. So it's not like you can unstick them, because they're still moving forward. And I'm definitely getting that still today about this blob movement is still growing. People are still attaching to it. People are attaching to it. And this is the people waking up. We're over here, we're one big blob movement, and now there's like other blob movements. I know this sounds crazy, but this is the kind of image they're giving me. I posted even that movie of the blob on my Facebook page. I've got a public Facebook page, Chrissy Fitzgerald, Psychic Life Coach, if anyone wants to go check out my Facebook. And I posted that a while ago, the trailer for the movie The Blob, because that's what it's saying. It's saying that we're moving, and as we're moving along, we're kind of sucking in and taking in more people. Because like I said to you the other day, you have to remember that 2.5 years on, this has affected so many lives. And people are starting to get side effects. They're starting to have issues now. People here are coughing like nobody's business. Another guy at the gym the other day, who's really fit, active and strong, was telling the girl how he's had horrific bronchitis. Shingles are on the rise here. Heart issues, well, that's a worldwide thing. And they're questioning why so many sports people collapsing on the fields. There is stuff happening, excuse me, oh, mine's not that, all over the place. So this causes people to rise up. People are finally finding those voices. Look how they're starting to interview people in Australia here. I said that in Queensland. They're starting to interview people who have been injured, people who have lost their jobs, like teachers after 30 years of teaching. They're older, they can't get work. This has affected so many lives. It really, really has. I had some sad news today from a friend of mine in New Zealand, actually, and her son, just devastating, just committed suicide. He was 19. I don't know the reasons for that, but I know that health and mental well-being, and maybe it wasn't that, I don't know, but in young ones is completely on the rise, and this is tragic and horrific. What they have done to people's lives has affected people so deeply. People have lost businesses, they've gone under, losing your mortgages, and things aren't looking brighter moving forward. We know that the financial stuff's just about to hit, the interest rates. People are like, you know, I said the other day, the trains have all come to a screaming halt because people are anticipating what's next. So this is happening. The global blob movement is still building, and it's eating people, and as it comes, it's sort of bringing people in, and bringing people in a good way. I don't mean smothering and suffocating them. I mean bringing them in a good way, that when they're connecting with other people who are pushing against tyranny and these kind of things, dictatorships and that, it makes them stronger. So the blob movement, you have to know, just keeps getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And that's what I'm going to leave you with today. Look, I know this has been very challenging. We're still going, but just think of yourself behind that fence now. We're still looking out. We're seeing things happening, and the blob movement is still moving. So I'm going to leave you with that in your mind today. Keep looking, use your binoculars, and stay detached and removed. But know that the blob movement is still growing. Stuff is still coming out. So look, take care, everybody. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. And hit the bell notification. I do have many self-help videos. If anyone out there is struggling with depression, feeling suicidal or wanting to give up, please go check out my videos. I've got tons on there that can help you around anxiety, fears, so many different subjects, and tons on predictions, obviously, for 2022. I've even got financial ones. So, look, please hit the like buttons, and look, stay strong, everybody. Stay behind that fence and stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye from Australia. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Bye.